Hello everyone, so I'm Bhavesh Singh. Today I'll be discussing tribal uprising portion of modern India with you all guys. So in this lecture we will basically deal with three major revolts. The first one is Sannyasi revolts, then Santhal rebellion, and at last Munda rebellion. And in the end I'll be discussing impact of these uprising. So let's start. So first we'll discuss Sannyasi revolts. So whenever we are discussing some revolt, there are some things which are very important to know. First, like the location at which that these revolts were happening, then who was the main people involved, like the founders, and what were the causes, and at last what was the effect of these revolts. So in case of Sannyasi revolt, we see that it occurred in the region of Bengal, Bihar, and both East and West Bengal. The East Bengal, which is nowadays Bangladesh, so it happened in this area. And the founder of Sannyasi revolt was not some single person or some few people, because the revolt was a long revolt. It happened during late 18th and early 19th century. So mainly they were as many ascetics known as sannyasis. So these ascetics hold revered position in society and had influence over masses. That's why people were following them in these revolts. And when we talk about the causes, the main cause was that British East India Company had some oppressive land policies. So local communities were very dissatisfied with uh, these policies, and they joined the cause of sannyasis in these revolts. In addition to that, we also see that in late 18th centuries and earlier 18th century and late 18th century, British started interfering in the religious practices. So people were opposed to that. Many other revolts also happened. We see 1857 also occurred because of these kind of things. And at last, economic grievances were also being faced by local people, because British has like controlled all the economy in India. The high taxes were forcing people to live a poor life. So all these culminated as cause for the sannyasi revolts. And what was the effect of these sannyasi revolts? So we see that after these revolts, so many armed resistance and attacks happened on British outposts, which disrupted their revenue collection, and it challenged to the British authority. Also, the diverse community mobilized for these sannyasi revolts, like artisans, peasants, marginalized groups, all came together in this conflict against the Britishers. And in large, the British suppressed this revolt by military action, and lot of casualties happened. People were captured, sannyasi leaders were executed, and thus the sannyasi revolt ended in the earlier 19th century. Another important tribal uprising was Santhal rebellion, which happened around 1855 and 56. And main founder of this rebellion was Sidhu and Kanu, who were like of Santhal tribe. This revolt happened in the area of Chota Nagpur plateau of the present day. And what were the main causes? If we look at the causes, the main cause was permanent settlement, which was introduced by Cornwallis in 1793. So British were exploiting and exorbiting a lot of revenue from the farmers, which resulted in economic distress and loss of livelihood of the Santhal community. Also, the Santals looked at the outsiders as Dikus. They called them Dikus, and these Dikus forced them for labor, so they were against that also. In addition to this, exploitative practices by moneylenders added to the existing problem of the Santals, and all that culminated into Santhal rebellion. And when we discuss about the effect, the major effect was that they were demanding self-governance and restoration of traditional land rights. So this culminated into tribal movements even after the independence of India, and finally we got Forest Right Act in 2006. So we can trace its origin from here. And last, we'll discuss about the Munda rebellion of 1899 and 1900, which was led by the charismatic leader Birsa Munda, who is very famous even today. And if we talk about the location where it happened in the present day Jharkhand and Odisha state of India. Causes of Munda rebellion were very similar to that of Santhal, like the exploitative revenue and land policies of British, the forced labor, suppression of their traditional rights, customary laws, and encroachment of forest resources and land by the Britishers and the planters. One thing added was the forced conversion of Munda tribal people into Christianity. It was also one of the major reasons of Munda rebellion. The Munda rebellion also ended with the heavy-hearted approach of British. They executed a lot of people. Birsa Munda was also executed in the end, and thus Munda rebellion ended in the 1900s. If we talk about the impact of all these uprisings, so it was very huge impact in the freedom struggle of India and forest right movement in India. These tribals give a sense of confidence to the people that if we get together we can oppose the British. They had a great resistance to British oppression. Many of them not succeeded, but they created a sentiment, anti-British sentiment, which all together into much concrete effort in the future. So one of the major impact was that tribal rights were recognized, and even after independence, tribal rights were given a great importance. So these uprisings were having a great impact in the struggles during